between passports because some rules. Nobody tells you.
Hello, I'm Vinny, and welcome to Between Passports. I believe that when we travel, we don't just see new places, we see ourselves differently. This project is about the life that happens in transit, my life and your life. After living as an immigrant for many years and listening to so many incredible stories, I decided it was time to share them with the world. So grab your bags, let's head out to today's episode. Hey, welcome back to Between Passports. I'm Vinny. I want to start this week with two scenarios. Same situation, two completely different planets. Scenario 1, you wake up sick. You call your manager. You describe the symptoms, the timeline, the fever, 37.8. You check twice. The sore throat, not scratchy, more like pressure. The paracetamol at 2 in the morning. The orange juice your partner brought you. You say you are probably fine, but wanted to be responsible. You say sorry for the short notice. The call takes about 6 minutes, maybe 7. Scenario 2, you open your laptop. You type 3 lines. Subject, absence notification. Body, I will not be in today due to illness. Medical certificate to follow. You press send. The whole thing takes 45 seconds. Both of these are real. Both of these are normal. And the person who does scenario 1 and the person who expects scenario 2 have never fully understood each other. Lucas is from São Paulo in Brazil. His manager is from Stuttgart in Germany. This is Between Passports. I'm Vinny, and this week, somebody called in sick. Okay, Lucas, 29 years old, originally from São Paulo, account manager at a mid-sized logistics company in Munich. Moved to Germany 2 years ago with his wife because the opportunity was real. The salary was way better than anything he could find at home, and because, his words, he wanted to know if he could do it. Build something from scratch, somewhere completely new. He's warm, he's funny, he's the kind of person who makes friends in the line at the supermarket and means it when he says they should get a coffee sometime. He talks with his hands even on the phone calls, which, if you think about it, it's commitment. His German is good, but not fluent. His English is excellent. His professional instincts, relationship building, reading people, finding the thing that makes a client feel heard are exceptional. He is, in short, exactly the kind of person who is very good at his job for reasons that have everything to do how he was raised. His manager's name is Klaus. Klaus is thorough, organized, fair, and has sent more accurate emails than any human being alive. Lucas respects him. This is important. Lucas sincerely respects him. They just do not agree on what a phone call is for. Lucas had been in Munich 14 months when he first called in sick. He called the way he always had, the way everyone he knew had always done it. He had no idea that what was about to come back was going to require a dictionary. It's a Tuesday morning, October. Lucas wakes up and his throat hurts, head hurts, slight fever. He checks, 37.8. He lies there for a moment, trying to assess whether he can push through, and decided he cannot, and picks up his phone. Now, before I tell you what happens next, I need to explain something about calling in sick in Brazil, because this is not an admin process. It is a moment of human connection. In Brazil, when you are unwell, you tell people. Your manager wants to know you are okay. You describe the symptoms because the detail is proof of sincerity. It shows this is real, that you are trying, that you are not the person who fakes a headache to get a long weekend. The detail is not oversharing. The detail is respect. There is also, and Lucas would be the first one to admit this, a slight performance to it, I would say. A Brazilian sick day call has rhythm. There is a rise, a build, a moment of pathos around the fever. It is essentially a short story about your body. Lucas had been telling this story his whole life. It had always worked. He calls Klaus. He describes the night, the moment it hit him around 9 p.m., the specific quality of the sore throat, the paracetamol at 2 in the morning, the water, a lot of water. He wants Klaus to know he is taking this seriously. The orange juice his wife brought without being asked. He says he is probably fine, but wanted to be responsible. He says sorry for the short notice. The call lasts 6.5 minutes. Klaus listened to all of it, then sends a 3-line email, a form, and a link. I want to read you Klaus' reply, word for word, with full gravity, because it deserves full gravity. Dear Lucas, thank you for informing me of your absence. Please know that in accordance with company policy, absences exceeding 1 day require a medical certificate submitted within 3 working days. I have attached the relevant form. Please also familiarize yourself with Section 4.2 of the Employee Handbook, which outlines the sick leave notification procedure. I trust you will recover swiftly. Best regards, Klaus. Short email, 1 attachment, 1 link, 0 questions about the orange juice. Lucas read it 4 times. He was not offended. He told me this clearly. He was not offended. He was bewildered. He just had given this man 6.5 minutes of his human experience, including the part about the paracetamol, and Klaus had replied with Section 4.2. He texted his mother in São Paulo. Mãe, I think my manager might be a robot. His mother replied, Did he at least ask about the fever? He did not ask about the fever. Lucas filled in the form, submitted it, went back to sleep. He recovered in 2 days. He went back to work. He and Klaus had a normal Monday morning meeting, and Klaus was completely fine, professional, warm even in his way. And Lucas realized he couldn't decide if what happened was a problem or just a difference. He was about to spend the next year figuring that out. I want to stop here and ask you something directly, because this is the question Lucas kept turning over for months afterward. When you call in sick, how long does it take? Do you call or email? Do you describe the symptoms or just say you are unwell and leave it there? Because I have asked these questions to people in my circle, and the answers are completely different. And it's even hard to believe we are actually doing the same thing here. Drop yours in the comments. Call or email. Symptoms or just unwell? I honestly want to know. Lucas sat with Klaus' situation for several months. On one hand, Klaus was not wrong. The company had a procedure. Lucas had not followed it. The email was helpful. The form was necessary. Section 4.2 exists for a reason. On the other hand, he had told this man about his fever, about his orange juice, about his wife's small, unprompted kindness at 11 p.m. And the response was, please see the attached. Both of these things could be true simultaneously. That was the part that Lucas found disorienting. And then, 6 months later, he got sick again. He opened his laptop, he looked at the blank email, and he made a decision that he thought was just practical. It would take him 2 years to understand what he had actually given up.
Enjoying the story? Follow us so you don't miss the next one.
Subject line: absence notification. I will not be in today due to illness. I expect to return tomorrow. Medical certificate to follow. Send. Klaus replied in 4 minutes. Noted. Feel better. 2 words. Klaus' entire emotional register for the situation. Feel better. Lucas stared at it for a while, then closed the laptop. And here's what he told me when I asked him how it felt. And I think this is the most honest thing anyone has said to me in this whole series so far. It felt like I had done something correctly and lost something at the same time. And I didn't know how to explain that, so I just didn't explain it to anyone. He learned the German way. He got good at it. 3 lines, correct subject, certificate within 3 days. Zero friction from management ever again. Professionally, clean, efficient. Personally, something had quietly gone. He just hadn't named it yet. He took a phone call, not to Klaus, not about work, not about a sick day at all, for Lucas to finally understand what the 6-minute call had actually been for. About a year after the 3-line email, Lucas was sick again. Third time in Munich. Mild flu, nothing serious. He sent the email, Klaus replied, "Noted, feel better." And then, without really thinking about it, Lucas called his mother. He told her about the symptoms, the timeline, the fever, 38.1 this time, worse than usual, the specific quality of the sore throat, the soup he'd made himself because his wife was away, his honest assessment of whether he would be better by Friday. His mother, listening to all of it, asked follow-up questions, told him to drink more water. He was already drinking water, he told her. She told him to drink more. She worried appropriately. The call took 11 minutes. When he hung up, he sat for a while, and then he understood. I wasn't calling Klaus to report an absence. I was calling because I was sick, and I wanted someone to know that, to actually know it. Klaus can give me that. That was never his job. But at that time, I didn't have anyone else to call in Munich. So I was calling my manager for something my manager was never supposed to give me. The Brazilian sick day call was never about the fever. It was about not being alone with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
So, as you know, I went back to my old sociology books. You know I do that. And I wanted to give you a framework for Lucas and Klaus. Because this is not two people being incompatible. This is two systems being completely internally consistent. So, in Hofstede's cultural dimensions studies, he created an index called uncertainty avoidance. So, Germany scores really high in this uncertainty avoidance index, while Brazil scores significantly low. High uncertainty avoidance for Germany means create rules, follow procedures, remove unpredictability from the system wherever possible. Klaus' 4-line email is not coldness, it is precision, it is respect, actually, in that framework. The respect of taking the situation seriously enough to do it correctly. While low uncertainty avoidance, which is the case for Brazil, means relationships manage the gray areas. Human connection is the infrastructure, and the call is not inefficiency, it is the process. Lucas and Klaus were not miscommunicating, they were both communicating perfectly in two different languages about the same fever. The problem was not that one of them was wrong. The problem was that neither of them knew the other one existed. I want to say one more thing about Klaus, because I think he deserves it. Klaus is not a cold person. Lucas told me this himself. Klaus organized the Christmas lunch, he remembered birthdays. When a colleague had a family emergency, he covered 3 meetings without being asked and didn't mention it once afterward. Klaus cares. He just cares in a different language. From Klaus' perspective, Lucas called, spoke for 6 minutes, and at the end of those 6 minutes, the only information Klaus actually needed was Lucas is sick, Lucas won't be in, Lucas will provide a certificate. The email gave Lucas exactly what he needed to protect himself in the system. That was Klaus' version of looking after someone. He just didn't know that Lucas needed the 6 minutes too. And Lucas didn't know that the 6 minutes were never really for Klaus. Two people, both trying, both completely unaware of the other's operating system. That's not a tragedy. That is just Tuesday in a globalized office. Lucas still sends the 3-line email. He's been in Munich 3 years now, and the German way is his way now as well. He's good at it. Section 4.2 holds no mysteries for him. But every time he's sick, he calls his mother. Full version, timeline, fever, symptoms, soup. She listens to all of it, asks about the fever, worries. The call takes 8 to 12 minutes depending on the severity. Lucas, if you are listening, the 3-line email is not who you are. It's just what a Tuesday in Munich requires. The other one is still in there. It just needed to find the right number to call. If you have a story like this, a version of yourself you quietly adapted, a way of doing things that got smoothed down by a different culture's expectations, I want to hear it. Between Passports is on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, and many different aggregators. Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for daily moments. Search Between Passports or find us at betweenpassports.com. I'm Vinny. This is Between Passports, where we ask the question nobody wants to answer out loud. Do I hear an accent?
We are Between Passports. Glad you're here. Share your story at betweenpassports.com.